book things before I read about this massacre. This guy wrote a great book called Catholic Victory in America, David Myers. I read his other book called Jesuit Plots Against Britain, and it wasn't just them trying to blow up Parliament to get Britain back over to Catholic, but they had multiple plots to try to get Britain back into their fold. This one's good, and yes, the Jesuits do run America, and the Jesuits do run the Jews, and the Jesuits do run the Freemasons, and that's the whore of Babylon, the mother of all harlots. So this is a good book. Church, it's almost December 31st. I hope you finish your prayer book by then. Don't be a crammer. I'm going to cram it all from Christmas Eve until January 1st. You're not going to get out of this what you're supposed to get out of this. Okay? The Massacre of Piedmont, I don't know that word, written by John Milton, famous Puritan, served under Oliver Cromwell, and wrote really good books. I think I'll read his poem after I read the history. This sonnet by John Milton, England's blind poet, was inspired by the massacre of the Protestant Waldenses in Piedmont by the troops of Charles Emmanuel II, Duke of Savoy, on April 1655. He gave them 20 days to sell their land and leave town or attend Catholic Mass. When thousands fled, he required the remaining people to shelter the troops in their homes. On April 24, 1655, the order was given to attack the people, of which ensured an unprovoked campaign of looting, rape, torture, and murder of 2,000 killed and 2,000 forced conversions to the Catholicism. After being tortured so much, some of them say, you know what, just give me the communion. Give me the communion. Is that higher or lower? This massacre, just going around, just killing people. Obviously, 2,000 lived through it, and some of them later fled, and one of them drew this picture. And it's all in the famous second bestseller behind probably John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, called Fox's Book of Martyrs. Because Queen Elizabeth, even though she's a fake Protestant, she was anti-Catholic. Bloody Mary was right before her. She had this, a lot of money cost back then for books, right next to the King James Bible. Excuse me, King James was after her. Right next to the Geneva Bible, on every pulpit in England. This was there on every pulpit of England. Now, don't get these new versions. This is the new version, and I hate it, because it has a couple people at the end here who are like, what? These guys aren't martyrs. Like, stick to the real history. They always switch it up the last 100, 200 years. Get the old one. It's pretty disappointed on that. Revelation 7:13-17, just, you don't have to flip there, just listen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? And he said unto him, and I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, these are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of water. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. I don't believe that's a King James rendering, but I'm not sure. Revelation 7:13-17. And this is out of Pastor Charles's free magazine called Truth and History. It has a little leaven in it, but he's strong on historicism, anti-Catholic, anti-Zionism, oneness. Here's the poem by famous John Milton. Avenge, O Lord, thy slaughtered saints, whose bones lie scattered on the Alpine mountains cold, even them who keep thy truth so pure of old. When all our fathers worship stocks and stones, forget not in thy book record their groans. Who were thy sheep and an ancient fold, slain by bloody Piedmontese that rolled mother with infant down the rocks? Their moans the vales redoubled to the hills, and they to heaven. Their martyred blood and ashes sow o'er all the Italian fields, where still doth sway the triple tyrant, that from these may grow an hundredfold who having learnt thy way, early may fly the Babylonian woe. So that's the way Old English poetry worked. But they've killed 50 million of us and they've never repented. Roman Catholicism's of the devil. 50 million since they got really started. They have birthed Islam. They have birthed, I don't want to say Jews. Jews are around first. The power of the Talmudic Jews that run the banks that print our money. The Jews are just the bankers of the Vatican. Vatican has the money. If you're Elon Musk with 400 billion and you go to Chase Bank and Chase Bank makes 100 million off your interest and your fees, who has more money? Okay? They have birthed Freemasonry. Okay? They are the wickedest of all. And I do not hate Catholics. My wife used to be a Catholic. I'm glad she got saved at a young age in a Baptist camp. So, we want Catholics saved. I hate Catholic priests. I hate Catholic bishops. I hate Catholic cardinals because they're heretic false teachers and you're supposed to hate what God hates and they're raping people's minds and many of them are raping little boys. So I do hate the priests, absolutely. I hate that. I hate their leadership. The Pope's the Antichrist. The Catholic people, they're deceived in certain things. If they're a homo one, of course we hate what God hates and all that. But, we want them saved. We preach to them and we tell them they're in a cult just like a Mormon or Jehovah's Witness. And just because 99% of Protestants in America are deceived to this day on this issue and they're Catholic Irish, back in the 50s, after World War II, it was 99% of the preachers against it. JFK almost didn't become president. There were so many Protestants against him being the first Catholic president. America was founded on Puritanism, Pilgrims and Puritanism, Protestants. This kind of preaching and this reading was all normal for 300 years in America. It was only since the 60s that all this Catholic hugging leaven came in. And we're always against it. We'll always be against it. My daughters are never allowed to marry a Catholic. You're an idiot if you let your son or daughter ever marry a Catholic. I don't care if they're for. I'm getting into my sermon now. We're going to talk about Roman Catholic leaven. Amen. Amen.